Okay, so I'm gonna do another reaction. So this can be reaction to The Problem with Pokemon by Wolfychu. I don't know what problem this is, but we're gonna see.
Pokemon is not what it used to be. I've been a Pokemon fan pretty much my entire life, and I would put it at the very top of my favorite series. There is always something new to look forward to with Pokemon because they are releasing new games almost every year.
On.
Like, they are just constantly feeding us content, and I have always been there for it. It was always the most exciting thing to me when a new game dropped.
Yeah, my favorite Pokemon game is, honestly, it's Pokepark 2 for the Wii. Well, in terms of one where you actually go on like a journey through a certain region, the Pokemon Black and White for the DS. So, and I don't really know if I'm gonna record Pokemon Heart Gold for a little while because I'm trying to level up my Pokemon quite a lot so that that can be at a perfect level for so I can battle Red, because Red's Pokemon are all in the flippin' level 80s, like level 80, level 82, level 84, level 88, like yeah, and then unfortunately the flippin' takes a long time to level up your Pokemon, so yeah. Anyways, let's get back to this.
The whole idea of diving into a brand new region with all new Pokemon to discover, new stories, new challenges. In fact, some of my favorite gaming memories are from Pokemon release weeks. Like when X and Y first dropped. That
X and Y.
was literally like
I
Christmas.
played a little bit of X and Y before.
Starting out the adventure in Kalos for myself and seeing Pokemon in 3D for the first time was amazing. The world was so...
The only Pokemon games I've actually played are Pokemon Leaf Green, I think. I played a little bit of Brilliant Diamond. I played Pokemon 2, Pokemon White, Black and White, Pokemon Heart Gold, Pokemon Battle Revolution, Pokemon Stadium, I think the original Pokemon Yellow I've played before. There's also I might have played Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire or something like that. I don't know. I've also played Pokemon Rangers as well. So.
The new Pokemon designs were top tier, honestly. I mean, this game gave us Gumi, and that alone is worth celebrating. And they brought so many new features like character customization for the first time ever. Look, I'm a sucker for character customization.
My favorite Pokemon generation is Generation 5. Because it's the one that I grew up on. The one that I first started off with.
Mega Evolutions, which was huge at the time, and still honestly the best gimmick that they've ever come up with, no competition. And then any breaks that I took from playing the game, I would be talking to my friends about the game. Like, my brain was no thoughts, only Pokemon. It's moments like these that make me love the series so much. And sure, X and Y has its areas where it's lacking too, like the story. And the fact that this game was the start of the hand-holding in Pokemon suddenly getting way more intense. And the games in general suddenly getting a lot easier. I just chose to bring it up because it's the most recent game to have this much of an impact on me. So now let's take a look at Scarlet and Violet because those are the most recent games. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Honkai...
Okay, yeah, we don't need to watch sponsorship.
It was so exciting at first. I mean, it was the first ever completely open world Pokemon game. You could go anywhere and see Pokemon just walking around in their natural environments. And as soon as I got the game, I immediately popped into my Switch and then... Let's go. What? Yeah, not off to a great start. And this was just a taste of what was to come. The bugginess of this game was unlike anything that I had ever seen from a series as big as Pokemon.
Oh my goodness.
Make moments fun years, so I was still having fun. But they really shouldn't have been there. The world in Scarlet and Violet is huge, and you can explore it freely. The problem is that the world doesn't really feel super alive. You can't talk to most of the NPCs, and the ones that you can talk to don't really have anything interesting to say. You can't go into any of these buildings like you could in past games. You can't even go into the stores. They just put a menu up in your face instead.
That stinks.
I want to window shop and enter people's homes uninvited. Maybe these are details that more casual players wouldn't care about. But I care. I'm used to Pokemon games feeling so much more full of life.
Yeah, I like to. Yeah, that's what I like. I want to go into to random buildings and walk around in them.
And this game is 10 years old now. It wasn't all
10
negative
years.
in Scarlet and Violet, though. There were some really great things in these games, too. Things like breeding Pokemon is easier than ever. You don't have to travel to the daycare and take thousands of steps to receive eggs anymore. You just start a picnic from anywhere you want and eggs appear based on time instead. So you can sit back and relax while your Pokemon make the eggs for you. We've also got the best rival we've had in a very long time. I just love how her whole deal is that she's already a champion and just got bored. We also got some great new Pokemon designs in this gen, with my personal favorites being Fido and Dashbun. They are just two little bread dogs, I love them. Being able to send your Pokemon out to fight wild Pokemon so that you can gain EXP without needing to fully engage in battles is such a nice time saver and great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the more popular opinion or not, but I personally really like
Eevee.
seeing the Pokemon out in the wild instead of the random encounters. It's funny because when I first heard about this change, I thought, wow, it's gonna be so easy to find shinies now. But I'm still the only person I know who hasn't found a random shiny in either Scarlet Violet or Legends Arceus.
Yeah, it's hard to find shinies.
I just really think that there was more potential behind these games. And it could have benefited so much from having a little extra time put into polishing it. We had Legends Arceus come out in the same year, which by the way was fantastic. Why couldn't this have been Pokemon's only 2022 title? The main reason why I'm thinking about all of this so much is because I just returned to Scarlet to check out the first DLC pack that recently came out. And I gotta say, so this is the second time that Pokemon has done DLC for their games. And both times, the first DLC pack just hasn't been very good. In the first one, for Sword and Shield for example, you're given this little guy Kupfu who's level 10. And to complete the very short story, you have to get him up to at least level 65. So the bulk of my time playing through this...
I kind of stopped watching Pokemon after Generations, after X and Y pretty much. So, I'm not too familiar with any Pokemon past that. I watched a little bit of Pokemon Journeys at least, so that's something.
But the gameplay is kind of just going back and forth between two locations, fighting this character Kieran over and over for no real reason. And look, I can appreciate the story with Ogerpon enough, but then when these three Pokemon appear, who are in the story and are made out to be dangerous and powerful, you think, okay, things are getting serious here. We're gonna have to team up with Ogerpon and stop these guys from wreaking havoc on the town. But then all that they do is they go to the town, they eat some food and go their separate ways, and then they just stand there in these random locations doing absolutely nothing. I'm really
That's weird.
the urgency here to defeat these guys. I hope that you guys know that the only reason why I'm bringing these points up at all is just because I love this series so much and really just want the new titles to be doing it justice. Since the second DLC pack for Sword and Shield was a lot better than the first one, I got my hopes up that the second DLC pack for Scarlet and Violet will be much better too. I think that Pokemon have built up a lot of fan expectations that they feel like they have to keep on meeting. Like a brand new generation every 3 years with all new Pokemon, but also bringing back all of the old Pokemon too. So because of this, they have to make compromises. Like the way how they skip out on animations and give us black screens, and not giving themselves the time they really need to polish the game. It is true that they have many other projects to focus on too, like whenever there's a new game, there's new card collections, new anime, new merchandise, ASMR, yes.
ASMR, oh boy. Thanks, Bulbasaur.
Only one of reasons Pokemon is so big is because of how they've always kept up with pumping out the new content. They started off with top-down games with 2D sprites, which were a hit every time. But now they've moved on to making these huge open-world games. It took a couple of baby steps to get there, but they are now fully in the deep end. And since it's their first time here, they've still got some problem solving to do. It's obvious that a lot of love goes into these games. I just really think that if the developers could be given a little extra time to spend on each game, the difference would go such a long way. Overall, I still enjoyed Scarlet and Violet, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
Alright.
That was my little Pokemon retrospective.
Alright, well, that's it for my reaction to The Problem with Pokemon by Wolfychu. So, hope you all enjoyed the reaction. The link to the bridge in the video in the description below if you'd like to check it out. And I'll see you guys next time.